Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name is Derek, Professor Silly, and welcome to my journey through the history of heavy metal albums. I decided to take this journey in order to better understand how heavy metal came to be, what defined heavy metal, and to listen to a lot of heavy metal albums that I've just never gotten around to listening to before. So, how am I defining heavy metal? I still don't know. I'm still working on it. Everything I've listened to so far from 1969 through 1974, none of it is necessarily heavy metal yet. It's all hard rock, but because it's laying the foundations for what will be heavy metal, it could be considered proto-metal. And so I still think it's important to the journey and to the history of heavy metal. Furthermore, if any magazine or book has listed something as important to heavy metal, then I think it's fair game. I started this journey by looking at Rolling Stone's top 100 heavy metal albums of all time, and there's a lot of Black Sabbath on that list, which I have been listening to. Is Black Sabbath heavy metal? Maybe. I don't think people at the time thought it was heavy metal. The people that are commenting on these videos say that they didn't consider it to be heavy metal at the time. They just thought it was hard rock. It's just Black Sabbath. But still, it's important to what will become heavy metal. And so that is how we are doing it. Who am I? And why does my opinion matter? It absolutely doesn't matter at all. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude. I'm a Gen Xer. I did play bass guitar in a heavy metal cover band when I was in high school, from the age of 15 until 18 or so. I played a lot of different kinds of music since then, but I've always had a love for some heavy metal. And so, yeah, my opinion is just, it's like my asshole. It's just mine. Everyone has their own opinion, and take it for what it's worth, which is not much. In order to not run afoul of copyright issues, and in order to keep this video as fair use, my approach is going to be to listen to the entire album and comment over the music. I will leave a link to the album in the description, so if you would rather listen to the album without me going on and on about it, you can certainly do that, and I recommend that you do. But in order to make sure that these videos can be on YouTube, I need to do something to keep it fair use, and talking over the music is the way to do that. Finally, I do not think that any person can or should have a complete and thorough opinion on a piece of art by only experiencing it once. So I'm not doing it that way. I will give my initial reaction to what I'm hearing, but then I'm going to listen to this album for a full week, minimum. A full week is the bare minimum in order to keep these videos moving, and live with it during workouts, during walks, etc., just so that I can have a more informed idea of how I feel about the album. I'll also do some research and look up some live videos during that time as well. And then I'll come back and record an outro that will have my final thoughts and final rating on the album. I find that almost always listening to an album for a full week means I like it more than I did necessarily that first listen. Almost always. There's a few where, if you look at the F tier, clearly there's cases where I dislike something more and more the more I listen to it. But other than that, like usually I like it more and more the more I listen to it. It allows me to really get into the nuances of things. Right. So, Black Sabbath. I have very much enjoyed every Black Sabbath album I have heard. I've loved most of them. The low point for me was Volume 4, but I thought the last one, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, was a really cool and interesting evolution from there. Now, I've heard mixed things from my friends and from commenters on my page about this one. This seems to be that this album, some people love it, some people do not. I'm really curious how I'm going to feel about it. And if I look at the track listing, Hole in the Sky, Don't Start Too Late, Symptom of the Universe, Megalomania, The Thrill of It All, Supertzar, Am I Going Insane, Radio Edit, and The Writ. I am not listening to the remaster. I'm listening to what I can find at what looks to be the closest to the original as possible. None of these song titles look familiar. I've never heard this album. I don't know if I've heard any of these songs. Actually, Symptom of the Universe, I think my YouTube has brought that up when I'm listening to other albums and the album finishes, and then I hear a riff start, and I looked and saw that it was a Black Sabbath song that I didn't recognize. And so I stopped it immediately. So I may have heard the first 10 seconds of Symptom of the Universe. I wanted to listen to the rest of it based on those first 10 seconds, but I stopped myself. So without further ado, I need to find my headphones and then let's listen to this sucker. Okay, so the first song is Hole in the Sky. Let's see what this is. Well, that sounds very Led Zeppelin-esque right off the bat. Yet Black Sabbath. Cool. Ooh, I like that riff. I like what the bass is doing below the guitar. I like how the bass and guitar are working together. It's nice. I'm living in a room without any view. I'm living free because the rent's never due. The synonym of all the things that I've said are just the riddles that are built in my head. Hole in the sky. Cool. Gateway to heaven. Yeah. And Ozzy, I like what Ozzy did on the last album a lot. I'm liking this so far too. I've seen the stars that disappear in the sun, but shooting's easy if you got the right gun. And even though I'm sitting waiting for Mars, I don't believe there's any future in cars. Hole in the sky, gateway to heaven, window inside, through it up light. Yeah. Dual guitar. That's pretty typical for Tony. I watched the dogs of war enjoying their feast. Yeah. What just, oh, it did it just end like that? Really? That's how that ends? Hold on, I want to hear the ending of that again. I don't feel like that's right, but it's what I have. So if that's the way that's supposed to end, so be it. That seems really weird to me. A really weird way to end it. I'm choosing to believe that's not the way that was supposed to end. But let me know in the comments if that's truly how the song ends. Then let me know that's correct, because weird. But I really like that. I'm beginning, as I'm listening to these albums, I'm beginning to start to formulate a better idea of heavy metal. Originally, I said, my original going into this whole project, my definition was, if it makes you want to bang your head and maybe throw up some goat horns, like that's probably metal. But my definition is evolving as I listen to all of this hard rock proto metal. Riffage is definitely a component of metal. I don't know if you need every component to be metal, but a solid guitar riff, I think, is one of those factors that really makes something help make something metal. Black Sabbath has guitar riffs in spades. But I think one of the other things, I'm beginning to think one of the other things that's really needed for like something to be heavy metal is a shreddy guitar solo. And Tony Iommi's guitar solos are not shreddy. They're good. But they harken more to all the other hard rock guitar solos. Like, for example, like Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page's guitar solos usually aren't terribly shreddy. Although I would say that nothing else but Stairway to Heaven really seems particularly metal to me. But that ending guitar solo is getting there. It's that part of it's getting there. Vocals, I think, are also a component of what can make something metal or not. That song was sounding, again, I think with every album, Black Sabbath is getting closer and closer to what I would imagine as being pure classic heavy metal. The first two albums really are more like proto-doom than classic heavy metal. I remember when I was playing metal and we decided we wanted to learn Iron Man and Paranoid, like it didn't seem like metal to me at the time. We still learned them. They're heavy, but yeah, anyway, enough rambling from me. The next track is Don't Start Too Late. All right, let's make sure that's really the beginning. I'm going to start over one more time. Let's get all the way to the beginning. Okay, just making sure. Well, this one's short. Ooh, interesting. This is a bit trippier than the other Tony acoustic stuff. I like this. It's short, so it's almost done. The next one's Symptom of the Universe. I'll just let it go. Because I don't think there's much to say about this. Yeah, this is cutting off. I noticed this. Hold on. I noticed this with Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And somebody in the comments called it out that it was cutting off like the first like split second of each song. Let me hit play on this again and see if it sounds like it's cutting off part of it. Okay. Thought maybe it was in a weird time signature at first, but no, it's in 4. Yeah, drums. Yes. Like this riff too.
Take me through the centuries to supersonic years. Electrifying enemy is drowning in his tears. All I have to give you is a love that never dies. The symptom of the universe is written in your eyes.
Yeah, this hurts my throat just hearing Ozzy do that. Yeah, alright. The lyrics are... That chorus, the lyrics in the chorus aren't going to win any Pulitzers, but...
Father of creation takes me from my stolen tomb. Seventh Advent unicorn is waiting in the skies. A symptom of
This sounds like it'd be fun to play.
a love that never dies.
Weird little clip on the stereo effect there. Okay, back to this riff.
Take my hand, my child of love, come step inside my tears. Swim the magic ocean I've been crying all these years.
I like that the bass is going to octaves every other phrase. Down low. High. That breaks it up and makes it feel less repetitive. Smart. Oh. Oh. This is sounding even closer to classic heavy metal than everything I've heard from them before. Ooh, nice. Interesting choice. Why does that? Why does this sound so familiar?
Come and step inside my dreams. In your eyes I see no sadness. You are all that loving means. Take my hand and we'll go riding with the sunshine from above. We'll
if I was seeing this live, I would swear that they're playing a different song, and they're playing a song I've already heard, but an acoustic version of it. I'm not going to look it up now, but I'm really curious if this isn't harking back to some earlier song. I mean, I would be surprised if they're doing that. That's a fairly odd move for a band. All right, that's wrapping this one up. I'll try to hit pause before the next one. Not that I have a whole lot to say. Okay. Cool. So yeah, like I was saying, that tracks 1 and 3. I mean, Don't Start's an acoustic interlude, but tracks 1 and 3. What is it? 75? Okay, yeah. I've been waiting to hear what's going to be the first metal album, and like with Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the first track seemed metal, and the rest of the album didn't. I liked the rest of the album, but it didn't necessarily seem metal. It just felt like really good hard rock. 2 of the 3 tracks so far have felt much more metal so far. So is this the first metal album? I would be pleasantly surprised if it ended up being Black Sabbath was the first, chronologically, first album that I heard that I would consider to be metal. Right, let's listen to track 4, Megalomania. Yeah, if it is cutting off the first split second of the song, I apologize. I don't know how to fix that. Okay, interesting. They haven't done anything really slow and trippy since, what, Planet Caravan? Ooh. Key change. How trippy. And trippy in a good way, not trippy in like a hippy-dippy, stupid way. That vocal effect is ominous. Some piano. Woodblock. We're only a third of the way through the song. Alright, this feels more typical for what we've been hearing from Sabbath. More familiar.
But I feel something's taking me, I don't know where. It's like a trip inside a separate mind. The ghost of
Nice.
tomorrow from my favorite dream is telling me to leave it all behind. Feel it slipping away, slipping into tomorrow. Got to get to happiness, want no more of sorrow. How I lied, ran to hide. How I tried to get away from you now. Am I right if I fight that I might just get away from you now?
Okay. Nice. Back to the woodblock.
Take me!
Solid riff. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm hearing a little bit of that Captain Beyond in this track specifically. Again, and it's in the guitar.
The chance to return is giving me the chance of saving my soul. Big tears are damning on, I'm fading away. I'm going back with what I'm in control. Feel it slipping away, slipping into tomorrow. Getting back to sanity.
Those vocal overdubs are
Of sorrow.
very horror movie feeling. Okay, nice. Snare on every beat. Yeah, nice. I like it. The vocal overdubs are so discordant that it almost sounds like Hollywood demonic. Still going. It's almost a 10-minute long track, though. bass almost has some Beatles-esque vibes to those higher parts. I don't know if that's a mellotron or if those are actual strings. Are we ending this? The chaos is how we're ending it. Cool. I'm imagining that's how side 1 ends. All right, we got a full fade out. Okay. That was decidedly weirder, trippier, and not in a bad way. That was all right. Right. Well, I don't have much else to say at the moment. The thrill of it all is next. And looking at the amount of listens or plays, Don't Start's got the fewest. Supertzar's got the second lowest, which is also the second shortest track. This one's right in the middle in terms of the number of views or number of plays. Right. Again, that feels like it's cutting off just a little bit. Here, I'm just going to hit a couple buttons here. Right, and then if it's cutting anything off, it's cutting off just a very little bit. Okay. Pretty well to find a beat. That's some double bass there. Yeah. Yeah.
Inclination of direction was the turn and twist that drift with the children of creation. Futuristic dreams we sipped, clutching violently we whisper with a liquefying cry. Many deadly final answers that are surely doomed to die.
Interesting.
Well, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, 'cause I got no reason to lie. Yeah. Forget your problems that don't even exist, and I'll show you a way to get mine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
So come alive, you know you're magic to me. Remember, freedom is not hard to find. Yeah. Time to stop all your messing around. Don't you think that I know my own mind? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is an oddly melodic track.
Why can't you believe it's not easy to be seen? Do you always have to be told? Do you have it so
Doesn't feel as heavy as the earlier tracks,
long before your answer was sold? Oh yeah.
but so fun to listen to.
Oh yeah.
Outro, guitar outro. If I seem distracted during that, it's because I was looking up the original track listing to see if the 7th track, Am I Going Insane, if it was supposed to be the radio edit, and it looks like it is. I'm not sure where the non-radio edit would have been then, but it's listed as 4 minutes 14. That's how it's listed on the original, so that's apparently correct. That's one I'm going to have to listen to a bunch more times to kind of wrap my brain around. So, Supertzar. All right. Ah, there's a choir. That almost sounds like that ELO song. I wonder if it's the voicing of the harmonies that's making me think of that. Feels like there's no bottom end. As the choral voices go on, it's sounding less like Electric Light Orchestra and a little more like Frank Zappa's 200 Motels. And a fade out. Okay, well, I'm not sure why they would have decided to not have bass or drums on that track. Like, not having bass or drums on Don't Start, fine. Or any of the other acoustic stuff on the earlier albums, cool. It's acoustic, whatever. This, when that guitar riff comes in, I could see like having a guitar riff by itself the first time, but then why not have bass come in? It would have, producer hat on, I feel like that would have made the song way better. And if not full drums, then percussion at least. I think that would have fleshed it out. I don't know. I'll continue to listen to it for the week and see if I still feel that way, but I feel like that's a little bit of a missed opportunity. That song could have been super freaking heavy and awesome had it used more of the band. Anyway, Am I Going Insane? That's the name of the next track. Not a rhetorical question. It skipped out some drums, which is annoying.
Everybody's looking at me.
Oh, this is a way better mix.
Paranoid inside.
I can hardly hear the guitar on the other version at all. It's still soft, but the drums are more present here as well. And I like what Bill's doing. stick by my original assertion that I cut out, that this is a strange choice to have for a radio edit. Was this actually released as a single? Yeah. This was the single. Weird. Did they have a choice in this?
So I'm telling all you people, listen while I sing again. If I don't sound very cheerful, I think that I'm a schizophrenic. So tell me, people, am I going insane? Insane. Tell me, people, am I going insane? Insane.
Interesting that that higher laughing sounds very similar to some of the laughter on the Mothers of Invention, Wielding It for the Money. So I was just looking at the Wikipedia to see like if there was any information about this track. The title of the pop-leaning Am I Going Insane radio caused some confusion due to the radio part, which led people to believe that the song was a radio cut or radio version, which is what I thought. However, this is the only version of the song. The term radio rental is rhyming slang for mental. But it was a single at the same time, apparently, and released in '76 for the following year. So, yeah, interesting. I point out that before we go to the last track, that interestingly, I really enjoyed Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and that title track was great. So I'm just read in here that Tony Iommi didn't consider that to be a rock album. Is that what he said? Yeah, according to Tony Iommi, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath wasn't a rock album really. And they wanted to do rock albums, so that's what this is then. I find that interesting, but I also find it interesting that Rolling Stone's top 100 metal albums of all time did not include Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but it did include this. So I think that's something worth noting. Right, the final track, the Writ. So it goes from one track straight into the other. This is 8 minutes and 45 seconds. So it's the second longest on the album. Okay. pretty heavy. There you go. Back to that spacey intro. Some backward cymbal effects. Sorry. Pardon me. I feel like these verses need something. Whispering. Nice octaves. Big transition. See, there's an example of the bass playing behind acoustic in a nice way. Interesting. This is the sort of thing I would expect from a band other than Black Sabbath. It's not unwelcome.
Listen to me while I sing this song. You might just think the words are wrong. Too many people advising me, but they don't know what my eyes see. But everything is gonna work out fine, yeah. If it don't feel like blow my
Nice riff. Is that we're ending it? Slow fade out. There may or may not be a hidden track. Looks like there is. Album version of a hidden track. Would be barely audible unless you had your headphones on or had it cranked up. All right. Nope, stop. He's going to go back to this first track. Right. I am going to see if I can fix the beginning of each of those tracks so that it actually has the beginning of each track. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's because I fixed it. Otherwise, yeah, having the first bit of each track just cut off is annoying to me, and it's annoying to at least some of you, because I got a comment about it on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I don't know how I feel about Tony Iommi's suggestion that he didn't consider the last album rock, and therefore they took a different approach with this one. I don't know how I feel about that offhand. Excuse me. Because while certainly the album Sabbath Bloody Sabbath wasn't super heavy other than that first track, it was still very enjoyable, and I would say it was rock. So I don't quite know what he meant by that per se. I was braced for a lot more disappointment than I actually experienced. I quite liked most everything I heard on here. I don't know how it's going to rank compared to the other Black Sabbath albums. I would imagine it's probably going to rank definitely better than Volume 4, but probably not as high as Master of Reality. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to listen to it for a full week, really get into each and every single track, and find, as far as each track, whether it grows on me or whether there's little things that start to pester me into annoyance or whatnot. I don't imagine it's going to be the latter. I imagine it's going to be the former, but won't know until I go through and listen to it. So cool. Let's fast forward one full week and see what I think. Okay, after a week of listening to this Black Sabbath album, here are my thoughts. We're now 6 albums into Black Sabbath. The first 3 albums arguably could be seen as the beginning of heavy metal, or it could be seen as the godfathers of heavy metal, and the precursor for doom metal. And during those 3 albums, they began to experiment by Master of Reality. There's a couple songs in there that I think perfected that original early idea. They still remain my favorite songs, Children of the Grave and the other one. The next 3 albums, Volume 4, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and now this one, Sabotage, sees them really experimenting. And that first one, I feel like the experimentation combined with the self-production, combined with the drug use, really didn't do them any favors. But by Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, they were really beginning to take that experimentation and meld it into what they were doing in a really interesting and cool way. And I really like Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I would say with this one, Sabotage, they frickin' perfected it. And that is why I ended up putting this up in tier S tier album. I can find, I don't love every single song equally, but I think it is way more consistent than Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. The experimentation here, like Supertzar, when they get really experimental, it doesn't seem to work. But the experimentation from the earlier album, they're able to integrate it into their sound in a really fascinating way. And so like this, the use of synthesizers or Mellotron or whatever they're using in this album is great. Works totally within the song they're doing. Like Supertzar, just like when I first heard it, like it needed more. It needed bass, it needed drums, it needed to sit, it needed to cook a little bit longer, and then that song would have been fantastic. The riff is great. It just needed a little bit more, I think. So, and some of the songs on this album, I would say, are perfect. Five star songs. Couple different songs on this album. I would say no notes, perfection. Ozzy really shines on this album in particular. And so, yeah, I think they figured it out. They figured out how to take their experimental approach and integrate it into a hard rock proto-metal sound in a way that I think is really cool and interesting. So, yeah, I don't like it as much as the original 2 albums. And if I were going to rank all 6, I may just do that in a separate short or separate video. I mean, you can kind of tell how they are. I think it's Paranoid, then Debut, then Sabotage, then I think Master of Reality, and then Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I don't know about those 2. I'd have to look at the numbers. And then Volume 4 is my least favorite of the 6. Still a great album. Just I don't like it. It's not as consistent to me, and there's things that really bug me about that one compared to the other 5 albums. Now, I've been doing some reading. And before I get to that, I did go back and revisit the California 1975 performance. Now that I know all of the songs that they were playing, including Orchid, and everything worked great live. I enjoyed watching that concert so much more now that I know all the songs from these original 6 albums. I'm really glad to have listened to the 4 that I had never listened to before, because now my appreciation for Black Sabbath has grown even more than when I came into this project. Now, I've been doing some reading. And moving forward, the next 2 Black Sabbath albums are the original lineup, Technical Ecstasy, and We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll, but that they didn't apparently have anything to do with that. That was a studio record label decision to re-release a bunch of stuff from the back catalog, and didn't even include my 2 favorite songs, and has changes. So I mean, it's a greatest hits album up to that point. So I wouldn't count that. Technical Ecstasy doesn't look like was well received. It looks like they pushed the experimentation way further and alienated a bunch of people. I mean, I might listen to it at some point, but I'm not planning on making a video or a short about it. And then Never Say Surrender, or whatever the one after that is, the last Ozzy album. Same, like, people liked it more than Technical, and some heavy metal names counted as one of their favorites, but doesn't seem to be well regarded by like Black Sabbath fans. And at that point, I'm not sure how influential it would be for the rest of heavy metal. It sounded like they were really going in a more of a potentially pop direction. So I have no plans to review those two albums. As you can see, next week, I've seen many an argument that some people consider the Black Sabbath debut album to be the first metal album, and some people say it's not. Those that say it's not, the argument seems to be that rock minus the blues equals metal. And their argument is that the second Judas Priest album is the first proper heavy metal album. I've never listened to it before, so I'm really looking forward to checking that out. A friend of mine got so excited when I told him I was going to be listening to it for the first time. So I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, if you have any albums you want me to revisit or want me to check out, let me know in a comment. If I've already passed the release date, I want to keep these chronological in terms of the full videos. If I've already passed the release date, I'll do it as a short. If I haven't passed the release date and I see any material that indicates that it's regarded as important to heavy metal, I'll do a full length on it. Otherwise, I'll consider putting it into a short. I have a list of albums that I can do for shorts. The more people that suggest a particular album, or when I find supporting material for something like that, I'm prioritizing the ones that have multiple suggestions rather than ones that just have a single suggestion. So I'll get back into doing some shorts here momentarily. As you can see with my things, I've been squashing the proto metal into more of a square, squishing the ones that have more in them, and I'll continue to squish down. Once we get a proper heavy metal album, then I will continue to squish the proto metal to take up less and less space on this. We've got decades of stuff to get through, so I'm going to have to do that in order to make sure we can fit everything. So in the meantime, you have a great rest of your whatever, and I will see you next time. Ta-ta.